Hello, my name is Chisom Izu. I'm the founder of Rytrack Solutions, which is a chatbot agency, and I'm also the founder of Rytrack Foundation, which is a non-profit that works with young people in order to prevent them from getting derailed into a life of not in education, employment, or training. Today, I'm going to be talking about what it is that we do at Rytrack, but also I'm going to be answering some of the questions from the Accelerator program that we are currently on with SingularityNET and 1,000 Black Voices. Yes, so I do have that feeling sometimes, wanting to throw in the towel, and when those feelings do creep up, and I believe those are natural entrepreneurial feelings that people have. When they do creep up, I think back on what we teach young people in the workshops that we do at Rytrack Foundation. Whenever we go into schools or semi-independent care units, part of the workshops is talking to young people about how they can prevent derailment into a life of not being education, employment, or training. And as part of that, we teach them what's called the 3 R's, namely constantly reflecting, regularly reflecting, and also making use of resources that they have around them, and thirdly, also practicing resilience. So at times where I feel like throwing in the towel, I reflect and figure out where is my issue. I tap into resources around me, whether that's community groups, searching the internet, tapping into mentors, and also making use of accelerator programs like the one I'm currently on, and then also understanding that I'm on a journey, and that journey is not A to B. It's it's a journey, but it can go all around. So I'm just understanding that I need to be resilient and just keep working towards the long-term vision of what it is that we want to achieve with Rytrack Solutions and with Rytrack Foundation. So, I think the mentorship experience that we've had so far has been nothing short of amazing, to be honest with you. I didn't come into it with many expectations, but I think any expectations that I would have had have been exceeded. So the mentors that we've been linked up with as part of this Accelerator program, they've done things like open up my eyes to, other revenue streams, open up my eyes to other strategies that we can implement in order to reach our goals. Primarily, however, especially having launched our new enterprise automation platform, the mentors that we are working with have now helped us to figure out our best product market fit, and also how we can take steps in order to serve that market properly. So part of the work that we're doing now is tying everything together and making sure that we're able to consistently deliver on the work that we promised to do. So being on an accelerator program with SingularityNET, which is we are focused on providing an AI marketplace for the future of blockchain and where we are going. We've been linked up with blockchain mentors who have offered their time in order to help us get to the bottom of how we can leverage blockchain technology in the work that we do with young people in early intervention, and also how the chatbots that we provide can help us in meeting those aims. Into this, so I believe that by the time decentralization, blockchain, all these concepts have been introduced into our daily lives, they're not going to be as clunky, and they're going to be less recognizable than we have them today. The same way there is groundbreaking technology powering our visa payments and everything else. I believe that by the time blockchain and decentralization and all these things get implemented into our daily lives, they'll be in the background, they'll be easy to use. And I think a big part of that is also educating society on how they can make use of this technology and how they can add value to it. I believe that the chatbot solutions that we provide, they are well positioned to gather data. And as we know, data is the lifeblood of AI and blockchain and all these other, groundbreaking solutions. And the better the data is, the better the expected outcomes that we can expect from these solutions. Seeing as we are providing chatbot solutions that can help public sector organizations and education and organizations in the educational sector to maximize the insights that they get from their audience, and also to drive better actions. We believe that by the time we believe that using chatbots will help us to get better data that we can feed into this technology, which currently relies on tracking and inferring, and many of times violating our privacy rights in order to get to the bottom of things. So we believe that chatbots can be a solution in order to ethically and gather in order to ethically gather data better for organizations that need it in order to maximize their insights and the actions that they drive from these. And considering that public sector organizations and educational sector organizations, the decisions that they make many of times have an impact on the lives of many people. We believe that the better the data that they work from, the better the decisions that they make, and the better the outcomes of the people that they work with. I believe that with the advances that are currently being made in quantum computing, we're going to see many strides being made in blockchain technology and decentralization, and we're going to see these come to fruition much quicker. So as much education that can be done to let people know of the benefits of this technology, I think the better.
Hello, everybody. I am Roger. I'm the CEO and co-founder of PaySika. We are building a neobank for the unbanked and underserved in French Africa, helping them easily pay and manage their money with just a card and an app. And I'm working on that with Tizon. Actually, I will let him present himself.
Yeah, hello, Roger. Hello, everybody. I'm Steven. I'm the head of growth at PaySika. So I'm really happy to do this video, and well, I think
perfect.
Yes.
So let us jump into the question. The first question, which is quite really interesting. What are key frustrations with society, especially as it relates to being a business owner, and how do you feel this could be addressed? Yeah.
Good question, I think. So in generally, I think that you have the same problem. People think that we are rich when we are not. For example, I can dress well to go to the to a meeting, but people will think that I'm a rich man. It's very
yeah. When you are well dressed, like people will think that you are.
yes, of course, and they will ask you for money, for example, explain their problem, etc. And also, my parents don't believe in entrepreneurship, so they don't hesitate to ask me to join
public administration.
Yes, for example, public administration, and it's a bit frustrating that I live, that I have.
I understand. Like it's really frustrating for you to not have your parents supporting you actually in this tough journey. But I think at the end of the day, this can be, if you succeed. Actually, when you succeed, you will be the one who will be who lead the thing actually in your family, and that's quite also a I would say. Yeah, I think I related really well on that. Yeah, people sometimes think that you are rich when you appear on the 430 on the 30. Like people will think that you already arrived, that your company have already succeeded.
Yes.
And when actually it is not. So, but how actually, like how I feel this could be addressed, I will say on my side that the only thing to address this is just to have many entrepreneurs that are building things that are tackling day-to-day problems, because
of course
Africa actually have lots of problems that we need to address. So yeah, that will help people more relate, because the more you have entrepreneurs, the more you have friends that know an entrepreneurs, and yeah, that is this chain will make people have another feeling or another view of business owner. Yes, so let's jump into the other question. Have you at any point in time of your entrepreneurship journey so far considered throwing in the towel when the going got very tough? And if so, what was the one thing, the only one thing that kept you going, and how did you master the dread to continue? Maybe on this one I will start. For me, I will say it is mainly how this actually story first start. We are building PaySika because of the pain that we actually experience ourselves because we are immigrants arrive in France some years ago with just cash in hand, not having the possibility to pay because no one wants us to pay. To pay using cash. No one wants us to open a bank account when not yet being registered as a school, as a student. So that is this pain that we experience. We don't want anyone to experience it after us. So and that's what kept me going really on a daily basis, knowing that this is a problem that actually we are solving and that people want. I would say. I will let you, Stephen, just go into what your own story about that.
Yes, of course. I'm really agree with you, and I think that we have a big community of customers who send us messages of support and to whom we have promised to offer one of the best services they have ever know in Africa. So I think that it's that thing that we have in our urge and help us to be every time in our project, to do something, to go
through every challenges that may appear along the journey.
Yes, this thing that motivates us every day. Yes, it's a good motivation for us.
Yes, actually, when you receive an SMS about the customer that's
exactly saying, every day.
You are doing good, guys. Just continue going, keep going, and you are building something great. So I really agree with that as well. So let's jump in another question. How has your mentorship experience been so far? What are you integrating into your business from what you learned so far from your time on the Accelerator?
Yes, I think that question is only for you, I think.
I would say really the mentorship is going really extremely well. I would say Challenge wise just so skillful, so smart. He's working in one of the biggest fintech in Europe right now, Revolut, and it's something. It's helped us a lot. This is one of our big our dreaming company. The company, what they are doing in Europe, we are trying to do it on the ground and solving the banking the problem of access to banking in this region that we are tackling. So the mentorship right now is going really, really well. And what I have integrated in my business, that is particularly how we plan to hire. Actually, that's something that we start to experience. We are in the process to hire someone, a developer. So that's something, knowing how to hire someone, what to avoid, what to think about, how to attract them, how to attract the best people into your entrepreneurial unit. That's something that we learn actually from the mentorship.
Okay.
So let us jump into the next question that you will have the occasion to respond as well. How do you see decentralization, blockchain, AI, these big terms that many big words, I will say, that many people are using on a daily basis? And how do you see it evolving? And how do you see yourself actually helping to make that vision a reality?
Yes. Yes. Blockchain for the financial sector is very interesting and promising. It's clear. So already we use a chatbot, like you use a chatbot based on artificial intelligence, and I think that in introducing blockchain would still be very interesting. So
yeah, the chatbot. What's the helping of the chatbot? Can you elaborate on that as well?
Your chatbot, you say?
Yeah, I mean the chatbots. Yeah, you can elaborate a bit on how the chatbot can be used on what we are building.
But yes. With chatbot we can do everything that we can make in the application. So we can, for example, send money. We can, for example, generate a card. We can do a lot of things. And the chatbot users ask the bot ask a question to the bot and to the bot, and the bot answer the question.
Yeah, the bot guide them through the process of answering the question. Actually,
exactly. So the response, the answers are based in the are based thanks in the artificial intelligence. We have managed that, and I think that if you merge that with blockchain to manage the transaction, it will be
secure, to manage and secure transaction.
Yes, it will be good. Yes.
Yeah, I see. Okay, that is quite. It's a good, interesting point. Actually, yeah. For me, I see that I can see that the usage of cryptocurrency actually is evolving a lot in our target market.
Yes.
In Africa, French Africa as well. So there's the users of blockchain. We can see many young startups that are really starting to adopt and use this technology in transforming the economy locally. So my bet actually is that in 10 years, blockchain will be far less, geek oriented. Like now, right now, the technology like Coinbase democratize, for example, how we can buy and sell cryptocurrencies. And I think that the usage will be also democratized in many aspects, like in our day-to-day society. For example, here in PaySika, we will be able to use it to secure monthly transactions and enable users to pay and sell crypto as well. So regarding AI, for me, AI is the technology I firmly and highly believe in. Actually, I have a master's degree in AI, so I see AI everywhere. 3 years ago, I was working already on a project, autonomous vehicle project, where building algorithms that drive the future of autonomous vehicle, whether it is to identify pedestrians or landmark, etc. So in finance, actually, I will say that it can help to serve, for example, traded people, to provide credit and saving to people who normally couldn't access, maybe because of the fact that they don't have a credit history. So this can help a lot in this area as well. So I see like AI as an accelerator for tech for good. And that is what we want also as PaySika, using AI, for example, in the long run to provide credit to people by merging many points of information for people who actually will have never gain access, to credit because they don't have a credit score. That is how I see, or how we see AI in the future at PaySika, and how we can leverage on that to achieve our vision of actually democratize the banking in Africa, democratize payment in Africa. and have a touchless economy. Yeah, and yeah, thank you very much for this. Very
Yes.
good time, and yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. It was Tizen from PaySika, and sorry for my English.
So not a problem. It is about practicing. So
yes, okay, of course.
Later. So see you guys.
In French, we say au revoir.
Perfect.
See you.
See you.
Hi, my name is Mercy, and I'm from West Africa Decentralized Alliance. When it comes to frustrations, with society, we all have our pet peeves, but especially as it relates to being part of an entity, a business, so to speak. I would say that it is resources. How is resources shared such that anybody that has a dream, that has a vision, that wants to achieve something is able to do it, to be able to access funding, and to be able to find the team and the resources to make this vision come true. Another would be, in terms of even after finding the team and within the network that builds a business, how is information accessed? How is it shared? And how does that impact decision making in a way that is quick and that is, effective decision that actually, in a way that whoever that decision impacts actually also has a say in how that decision is made. Like there has been times within this journey that I wouldn't say, giving up. I would more say, the discouragement, when you have been expecting some funding and that funding hasn't come through. And for me, it was, it happened. WADA has been part of the Cardano community, and I do need to say here that we have enjoyed tremendous support. And without the Cardano community, it would have been difficult for us to be where we are now. And we are hoping that this will actually extend to the SingularityNET community as well. But in terms of finding the strength and the grit to carry on, I would no doubt say that it has been because of the team, the people that, we've discussed the vision together. We have shared this dream so that, it's like when one, is getting weak, the other sort of, we lift each other up and we build one another up. But, in terms of giving up, it hasn't been something that, the dream is too big, and what we want to achieve, we feel that it's too impactful to give up. But definitely there has been times that it's been very discouraging in terms of, stuff that needs to come through that hasn't come through. We have really benefited being part of this Accelerator, 1000 Black Voices and SingularityNET Accelerator. We have learned tons, even a deep dive into blockchain. Those of us participating in this accelerator from WADA, we find ourselves, we think of ourselves as having been around for a while, so we know what blockchain is. But we had a lecture from Sridhar from SingularityNET, and you could see that he really understands blockchain. And just that explanation, it was great. Our mentor, our other mentor, Shalendra, Elizabeth Shaw herself, it's just been tremendous in terms of the resources that have been lined up. Even the group, being able to share this with fellow pioneers, founders, it has been very, very, very impactful and very encouraging. And we are so much looking forward to, the weeks ahead. Something tangible that we have come to understand through, this mentoring process has been the fact that, we need to put things down in the form of, let's write the vision down. Let's visualize what we are seeing, and let's actually document that in the form of a white paper. And that's something that we are currently working on in terms of what the tangible benefits so far that we've got from this accelerator. Going forward, we look at the whole idea of decentralization, of AI, blockchain, and how it can bring our vision to reality. So I think it just goes back to what I had initially said in the form of resources, finding resources to make a dream come true, sharing of information, accessing information. And in terms of accessing information, that's what we are seeing, especially in Africa, where Africa and the diaspora, we don't, sometimes we don't really, we are not part of, the world, I would say, the modern world. And sometimes it's just because information is quite difficult to access within the continent. And that is something that we are looking to solve, or even, not even if not to completely solve it, at least to significantly impact that aspect positively. And this is something that we're looking to do with, machine learning, AI. And in terms of, how resources are shared, how resources are accessed, that's definitely something that we see blockchain being able to help us do, in the sense that, we want to establish this decentralized platform. We see ourselves from WADA as a network that, like a resource sharing network. We share resources, we make resources accessible, we access resources, and we make sure that, those within our network and those that are joining every day do have access to this network. And the way that we can make sure that things are decentralized in this world, especially in Africa, is to make sure that, we automate, and things don't really depend on people making decision and denying access in terms of finance, exchange of information, trade, and all the things that historically Africa and Africans have not been able to have access to. So that's what we're seeing, and that's what we're looking forward to. And we thank you all for coming along us on this journey. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Question number one. What are your key frustrations with society, especially as it relates to being a business owner, and how do you feel these could be addressed? Wow, it's a deep question for the third time. Regarding business, I would say probably access is huge. Access, and also this interesting challenge that seems to happen regarding people in the community that I come from, that there seems to be a almost kind of a cloud of pressure that tends to descend on the projects that they're trying to build out, whatever those projects might be. So I would say, kind of the frustrations that I have is this idea of this cloud of pressure pushing down on creative ideas, and then having access. And what I mean by having access, I mean having access to the resources that you need in order to build your ideas, and then also having access to knowledge and information to build those ideas in the best way. How would I resolve those? How would I resolve that issue? I really do think that it's access, and in whatever way, these systems that have been put in place that kind of feel like they're applying pressure in certain communities, you know, the changing of those systems and the opening up of those systems. Because I think that once that pressure is released and people can really step out and dream, and those who want to turn those dreams into businesses have the resources that they need to turn those dreams into businesses, and have the knowledge and understanding that they need to turn those ideas into businesses, and then also the relationships to turn those ideas into businesses. And that's another part of that access. In some cases, there are folks who maybe exist in those environments that have created relationships amongst themselves that don't welcome different ideas, maybe different cultures, those types of things, and not welcoming in a way where it's necessary for me to, in a sense, change who I am in order to be a part of the group, but welcoming in a way where I can be who I am, and the folks that I'm working with are, in a sense, mature enough to recognize whatever ideas and thoughts that are coming through me, and help to facilitate the growth of those things, as opposed to recognizing maybe what I look like, and using that to as a lens to who I am and what it is that I'm capable of doing. Question number 2. Have you at any point of your entrepreneurship journey considered throwing in the towel when the going got very tough? And if so, what was the one thing that kept you going, and how did you muster the grit to continue? My answer to that question is no. Never has there been any point in my journey where I wanted to throw in the towel. This is who I am. It's what I've been for the longest time, as far back as I can remember. It's a part of the fabric of who I am. Just this idea of recognizing that there are opportunities to basically leave the planet better than we found it, to offer resources to people that have often been kept away from those resources, and to be a force for liberation, for adding more choice, for giving resources, for allowing people to, or potentially showing a way for people to reach the dreams and goals that they set for themselves. So I believe that there's a lot of work that we can do in that area. I've been fortunate enough to be trained in a technology called NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, and through that technology, I'm absolutely certain that a lot of the ways that we interact with the world around us, in some cases, those interactions don't necessarily help us move forward, but a lot of the ways in which we interact with the world around us are based on patterns that we picked up at an early age, and we haven't had the opportunity to update or to upgrade just yet. So I'm a firm believer that we're all creators, and that there's value inherent in all of us. And some of us will go on to build businesses, and some of us will go on to create in other ways. But I am a firm believer that any way that we can, we should help to facilitate that growth in the individual and in the group. We'll do that. But question number 3, how has your mentorship experience been so far? What are you integrating into your business from what you've learned so far from your time in the Accelerator? Wow, this one has been, I think, surprisingly huge for me. I've had an opportunity to meet people in the past who have been mentors for me and given me really great information in all different walks of many different walks of life. The experience that I've had in the last 3 weeks with 1,000 Black Voices in SingularityNet has been super compelling. My mentors, Sridhar and Shailendra, have been absolutely amazing from the first meeting that we had together, you know, to, you know, everything that we've been able to, you know, our team has been able to experience with them. It's really just been amazing. I think they're brilliant people. The knowledge that they share, that they have shared with us, I don't believe I would have been able to get in any easy way. And I've been in this space for a while, you know, for a long while, even before I would say the Bitcoin white paper. Just, you know, when, you know, around the time when the internet was, you know, starting to get up and running, and there were these conversations about how do you exchange value across the internet. I was aware of those conversations back then, and you know, where we are today with all of the wonderful people that we have talking about the potential for blockchain. You know, I've consumed a lot of their content, and what I've been able to get with Sridhar and Shailendra has grown my understanding exponentially, you know, really in a way that I'm really amazed by it, because like I say, you know, coming into this, I'm pretty aware of how these mechanisms work and what they were able to help me understand about, you know, how you build and what the, you know, potential and the possibilities are, has really been quite mind-blowing for me. So my mentors have been off the charts. They've been the bomb. You know, all of this that Elizabeth has put together has been amazing. Everything's just been really on point for me. Question number 4 is, how do you see decentralization, blockchain, AI evolving, and how do you see yourself helping to make that vision a reality? I often use an analogy when I'm talking about blockchain, and it's an apt analogy, especially me being from Detroit, Michigan, because everything here in this area has centered around the auto industry. So that's been a part of really my life for my entire life. And when you think about what the automobile was back in the 1900s, when, you know, horseback and rail were the main means of transferring, you know, people, property, etc. And what it must have been like to be one of the first people to buy a car back then. I mean, I'm sure at some level, I mean, I know of something that not everyone could afford, but I'm sure at some level people were almost ridiculed by owning these devices because they probably didn't make much sense. I'm sure there were people like, you can't even get across the you know, the land there, you know what I mean, to get where you're going, you know, without falling in a ditch or, you know, even being able to make it over there. And the people who bought these cars, they saw the vision, they saw what this was going to become. And sure enough, we ended up building out an entire roadway infrastructure just to support this remarkable creation. So I look at blockchain that way, and I look at it in a way, and you know, the folks back in the 1900s, even the folks that owned the cars, could not have imagined what, you know, cars would enable in the future. And in my opinion, you know, part of the reason that we do have a modern future is because of the automobile, is because of the car, because of the vehicle. So yeah, you know, this idea of blockchain to me is very similar to what it, you know, maybe what it was, but not in the same way, because there's such an incentive to participate in the blockchain space because of, you know, the value appreciation. Just this idea though that there's this whole new system that's being created, and we can't begin to even, you know what this technology is going to enable 100 years into the future, or, you know, how things are going to be different as a result of this technology. So I think it's amazing, even the projects that are in the blockchain space right now, and the creativity that's in the blockchain space right now is mind-blowing. I know that's only going to grow, and I definitely see myself participating in the growth of this technology. I think the WADA team has some great ideas for extending this technology, for making it available for people, and then also using it to do some good, some public good. As far as decentralization goes, it's a remarkable, another remarkable um, uh, um, solution that exists for us now. Oftentimes, again, in WADA, we talk about pushing power to the edges, empowering people who are normally kept out of power circles and power centers, and giving them an opportunity to reach for what's best for themselves in their lives in a way that's doable, and in a way that's not, that doesn't have this cloud of pressure kind of pushing down. So I think decentralization is absolutely going to do that by allowing people to have more say in what goes on in their communities, what goes on with their own personal sovereignty, and how we can be more ourselves, and at the same time relate to our community in a trusted way. So I think that's going to be huge. Just even just the idea that we will be living in a society based on the systems that we're now putting in place that will engender more trust. And then as far as AI goes, same thing. It's a remarkable technology, absolutely remarkable. No doubt that it's going to help us with the mundane tasks that we find ourselves doing, so that we can free ourselves up to do more. Free ourselves up to understand our position, our place on this planet, and our position, our place with the rest of the people on the planet. So yeah, I think it's going to be very valuable, AI. And I also feel it important to say that I'm pretty old school, and I absolutely appreciate the work of the maker, of the creator, God, because I didn't create myself. And I know that, there's things that happen in order to get me here, but there's some divine creator that kind of put this thing together, and we are intimately connected with that divine creator. And so whatever we build on this planet, at the end of the day, becomes extensions of ourselves, but will never replace us as human beings. There is my training in NLP. I had an opportunity to participate in experiences that I didn't go to any of Tony Anthony Robbins' live seminars myself, although the company that I worked for actually trained some of Tony Robbins' students, and I was on that training staff, and it was just something that was an absolute honor for me. And Anthony Robbins is someone that I have a high degree of respect for. But in his it's one of his programs. He talks about the 6 human needs. And those 6 human needs are the need for connection, the need for significance, the need for certainty, the need for variety, the need for growth, and the need for contribution. And regardless of what tech we create, we're still going to have a need to express these needs. So I'm just saying that to say that we use technology to bring us closer together, and not to push us farther apart. And I think that these new technologies that are coming on board right now are going to help us mature in those areas, so that we can just move our our experience here forward, and then also leave something special and maybe a little bit easier for the people that come after us.